everybody, and welcome to the Helen Winder Show. I'm Helen Winder, and my lovely guest today is Mindy Gibbins-Klein, the founder of the book Midwife and also in Thought Leadership. Hi Mindy, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi Helen, my pleasure.
So how are you doing? How's life? Where are you? Where have you been? Where are you going? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Book Midwife company is doing really well. We're running a lot of retreats and workshops, and this year I've been to South Africa twice, the US 3 times, as well as running the retreats in the UK that we're so famous for. We've got private clients. We've got a lot of people finishing up their books and moving into the publishing, which is exciting because that's really why everybody, well, most people write the book because they want to publish, not all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we've published a lot of really, really great books. I'm very, very proud of our authors. Yeah, I couldn't be prouder. And it's very exciting, but yeah, happy to be here today, just taking it easy a little bit, just one day of my life.
No, thank you so much. I know you're a very busy bee, and as you say, you've travelled all over the place this year, so thank you so much for taking the time. How many, just going back to the beginning very quickly, how did you become the book midwife? How did you get into this sort of line of business? What was your sort of initial little journey to get here?
Well, at the beginning, I was doing life coaching and marketing, and I had my own book that I was marketing. So all 3 of those strands kind of coalesced to form the Book Midwife brand. A lot of people sort of say Mindy is the Book Midwife. It's not strictly accurate because the Book Midwife is a global brand that we've trademarked, and it's really going places.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm kind of the person who started it all, and I was the first Book Midwife coach. So it's been a long journey. It's been 12 years.
Wow.
And in that time, we've had over 1,000 people come through our programs and over 500 in print already. And it's just so wonderful because so many people have this dream of writing a book, and most of them are at risk of never even starting, much less finishing and ending up with something that they're happy with. So I'm just delighted.
It's lovely because I think there's a saying that there's a book inside everybody.
Yeah, and most of the time, sadly, it stays there.
Yeah.
Because people, they don't have the confidence, or they don't know where to start, or they start and they get stuck and they don't realize that help is available.
Mm-hmm.
We try to hold people's hand from the very beginning before they even start planning or writing anything. And we live in an almost over-empowered world today, Helen, so a lot of people think, oh, I can do this myself because self-publishing has become so easy and all this that they think the writing's going to be easy, but it's not.
No, definitely not. No, I understand what you're saying there.
Yeah, so it's been fun. As the industry has shifted, we've tried to shift with it. We've tried to follow what people are looking for, but we still feel very strongly that the best way to do a book is to start with a coach when it's just a set of ideas and have that person hold your hand all the way through, write your best book really fast, 90 days. We think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. No, fantastic. So where does that lead into thought leadership? And that side of things, because obviously, people wouldn't necessarily put the 2 together.
Right. Well, thought leadership came from the academic circles, and, I started looking into it about 6 or 7 years ago because the term was really interesting to me, and I thought that quite a few of my clients were thought leaders, but I thought, let me just see if there are any criteria, can I check if they are or not? And it soon became apparent that to be a thought leader, you need to be getting your ideas out, and one of the best ways to get your ideas out is in the form and the shape of a good quality book in print, and ebook versions, of course, but one that needs to stand on its own and be the right length and have substance and all that sort of thing. So as I looked into that, I realized that my clients were doing all the things, they just weren't necessarily being recognized as thought leaders. So we have a number of clients who have a thought leadership strategy so that they can actually go about this in a methodical way. And they write their full-length book, and they then can base a blog series and articles based on the book. They get on the speaking circuit, and they have various keynotes and presentations they can do, videos. I mean, it's really unlimited, but it's a big picture strategy, not just I've written a book, therefore people should recognize me as an expert. It's not really enough anymore.
No, there's a lot of other sort of arms that come into things now, isn't there? It's not just as, you know, as simple as write a book, get it printed, that's it. There's so many things now that different channels that we utilize.
Yeah, I mean, what people don't realize is that if they do all those things, and they're doing the blogging and they're doing the videos without a book, they're at a big disadvantage because certain people are looking for a book. I was just speaking to a client yesterday, and they said they couldn't believe it. They were trying to apply for a speaking opportunity, and the organizer just said, what's the title of your book? They didn't say, do you have a book? They said, what's the title of your book? Or how many books have you got? They assumed that she had at least one, and she doesn't. We're gonna fix that. But it's expected nowadays.
It's interesting, isn't it, how things have changed in that way?
Yeah, well, it's become like a de facto standard that you have to at least have a good book in print, and then all the other things will work a lot harder for you.
Yeah, I've got you. So along this journey to get to where you are today, you know, has it been smooth, or have there been a few lumps and bumps along the way, like you know, quite a few of us have experienced?
Well, looking back, it's been perfect. It's been the perfect journey. But of course, there have been times when we didn't know what clients we'd have for the next year, because, you know, people literally just do a 90-day program, and then they're finished. So, you know, they don't normally sign up well in advance. By the time they call us, they usually want to start tomorrow. So we never have what people call a pipeline. So that's been a bit tricky. We do have some corporate and some partnership business where, you know, I do courses for other people, or they send their clients to us. So there are quite a few different ways to structure the business, but the core of the business still is the individuals that come to us and want to write a hard-hitting book. And we've got a whole lot of marketing. I think a very good profile out there. The Book Midwife brand is known, at least in the UK. So I think that's all built up. It takes time. You know, people always want instant success, and I think I was guilty of that as well, thinking, oh, you know, I'm working hard, therefore I should get results immediately.
Yeah. No, I fully understand that one.
It takes time.
It does take time, and it takes dedication, doesn't it? You know, we have to apply ourselves and keep focused as well.
Well, we keep doing that. We keep trying to innovate further. I've got new initiatives all the time, but we're also trying to stick with the core of what we do and what we're known for. So it's you know, without straying too far from that, and just keeping an eye on what's happening. I mean, the publishing, as I say, that the publishing side of things has really taken off because we've developed a good reputation at Panoma Press, and we have relationships with about 27 different countries. We've had books translated into Chinese, Japanese, Polish, Italian, other languages, and we have distribution across the globe, also in China, Malaysia, Singapore. We've done, you know, heaps of business with libraries and app providers and all sorts of things. So we're trying to innovate all the time, and so that the author, when they publish their book, they can get multiple bangs for the buck, as they say, and that's been fun as well.
Do you find that when it comes to producing the book, are there more electronic books, e-books being produced, or is it more hard copy? What's the sort of media that's preferred at the moment?
Well, we do primarily business and self-help, so in the non-fiction category, not novels, you know, and in the business and self-help, the print book is still preferred. We offer both. In fact, we offer the print book plus 4 different formats of ebook, just to give, plus sometimes an audio book. So we give all the choices, and print still trumps them all. And I do think that people like to have the business book on their shelf. They like to be able to pull it off the shelf, refer to it, highlight it. I know you can highlight on a Kindle, but it's not quite the same. I have a Kindle, and I have books on there, but I still need my books in print. So so far, we've not seen ebooks overtaking print. They've not quite caught up yet either. It's probably about 2/3 print, 1/3 electronic.
It's really interesting, isn't it? I know myself, I like the physical item is I get those little tiny thin sticky notes, and I just place them in the areas for me to go back to, and they're easy to click through, isn't it, and find your place.
Yeah, there's no right or wrong. As I say, we try to provide options for people.
Yeah.
Because some people really are quite attached to their e-readers and their Kindles and even reading on the iPad. So as long as we offer it all, then nobody misses out.
You've got everything covered.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, what's the name of your publishing company again?
Oh, Panoma Press, like Pan, like as in global, Panoma, O-M-A, Panoma.
Okay.
And it used to be eCademy Press, because you and I met via eCademy, I think.
That's right, yes we did.
Yeah, we hung out there for a while. So if people are thinking, wait a minute, what is that company? It's the new iteration of eCademy Press, because eCademy changed hands a few times and we needed to change our branding. So about 2.5 years ago we changed the name. And it's just given us a new lease of life. And we've still got the legacy and the quality of the eCademy ethos of winning by sharing and really, good quality business material. We've also got that global feel, which was very, very important.
Yeah.
And, a lot of our authors want to make a big splash in the US, for example, if they're based in the UK. And so we've now got partners in the US doing PR and social media, and so people can begin to have a truly global business and a publishing partner that helps them do that. So, yeah, it's really fun. It was a lot of fun.
Good, excellent. In business, what would be your top tips to others starting out, whether it be keeping focus, whether it be training themselves, going on courses or engaging with others to assist them, what would be your top tips?
So somebody starting out in business, do you mean like an individual, a solopreneur, Helen?
Yeah, I think a lot of us start off in that way, don't we? We start off on our own, and as we go forward, it'll we'll grow into a team or stay as we are.
Well, of course, I started that way as well, way back when, 12 years ago. And I think the key at that time was different from what it is now. I think when you're starting out, it's really useful to act like a bigger business. You don't have to act like a multinational PLC, but you really should treat everything in a professional way. I was so excited to be self-employed and not have a boss breathing down my neck that I went and had lunch with friends and I did this and that, and I ended up working some evenings, and so it kind of evened out, but I didn't count the hours that I was putting in, and I wasn't as rigorous as I had been, because I think I was on the rebound. I was really, I was so thankful not to be in the corporate environment anymore. So I kind of wasted a bit of time. That was me. I would say, most of the people I know, maybe they don't take it seriously because they don't understand what's required.
Yeah.
And some people, maybe they do need a boss breathing down their neck or something, but they need to have some kind of discipline. I hate to use that word, but that's the word for when you're first starting out. Discipline with your cash, discipline with your time. That was essential back then, and still is. As you grow the team, I think you really have to lead your team, even if there are just 2 or 3 of you. At the moment, we have a team of 26. And they're virtual, and I get to see about 8 of them regularly. The rest are in different cities and countries, and we rely on email. So again, we need to have systems and processes that will combat that feeling of isolation for some people or communications issues, and we have to run it exactly as if we were all in the same building.
Yeah.
And that's tricky. But I would say as you grow, become flexible and understand that, you're going to have new and different issues coming up. And then I would say finally, just always test at least once a year, if not once a quarter, what your passion is doing. Because sometimes you get drawn into things and then you end up running the business and doing the things you have to do, but you're not doing the parts of the business that you started doing, proud to do. And if you're a responsible person, which is an accountable person, like I try to be, then you say, well, I'm just going to do whatever it takes to get it done. But if you spend too much time doing the things that you're not passionate about, you start to resent your own business, and that's not good for anybody.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. We get sucked straight into it, don't we? And into the doing, into the delivering, but sometimes we lose ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. I heard a quote the other day. I was at a Tony Robbins event, and they were doing a segment from the Business Mastery, which is absolutely amazing content. And it really stuck with me. The person presenting just said, your business is not your baby. Your business is a vehicle to have a lifestyle and to have cash so that you can have a lifestyle, but your business is not your baby. And I think what he was saying, really, or what I got from that was, don't get so emotional about it. It's really great if you can have your own business and do something that you love and, something you're passionate about, and you can tie the two together. But once you decide that it is a business, it should be a business.
And actually, that struck a few chords with me just then, because we do become so attached. And the thing is, when we do that, it becomes emotionally attached to us as well. So if we have a bad day, we're not going to be focusing on the business as we should be, and it will have a wobbly day, won't it? So
quite possibly, yeah.
Yeah, you have to sort of, I quite agree with that. Your business is a vehicle. It's a vehicle to your lifestyle, to where you want to be.
Yeah, it's great if you love it. I mean, you should love what you do, but sometimes you just have to treat it in a very business-like and professional way. So that's going to stick with me for over the next couple of years as we have some very aggressive business goals. And maybe it won't be fun 100% of the time, but I know where we're heading.
That's the main thing. Keeping an eye on the goal.
Yeah. I'm very determined. I always have been, but that was just a good reminder that I heard, so I thought I'll share that on with you.
Yeah, definitely. That's very good. So, if somebody has got this desire to write a book and wants to write a book, how do they go about contacting you? What's the best way?
Well, firstly, Book Midwife is all over the internet, either one word or two. You can always find us. So we have various websites, we have products, we have retreat programs. The retreat programs are really great value because we don't all have time to work with unlimited private clients. We just have however many hours in the week, even with my whole team.
Yeah.
It's more efficient to work in small groups, and it can be more fun, and it's definitely more cost effective. So there's always a retreat coming up, and it's a 1 or 2 day retreat followed by 12 weeks of online coaching via webinars. So that's what I would recommend to most people. I would have 80% of the people that we talk to going to the group programs. It doesn't work out that way because some people can't make the dates or they really want to work with a private coach, which is fine, but I would say check out the retreat programs. And we have lots of ways to help folks. So, if they can't get to the retreats or if they're on a lower budget, we've got a product called the Home Birth Kit.
I like that.
I think you've seen, Helen. It hasn't changed that much. It's a black case. I'm sure I had that when I spoke for your group one time.
Yeah, that rings a bell.
Yeah, I'm sure you saw that thing. So, that's hundreds and hundreds of people have had the Home Birth Kit. All our clients get that. So that's another possibility online. It is hard if you don't have a coach and you don't have the accountability of speaking to somebody every week and you're on your own trying to keep yourself motivated. It can be tough, and we have a lot of people that say, well, let me see how I get on, and then they end up coming back and working with us privately or at the retreat. That's fine. We don't judge anybody. What I would say, if anybody's thinking of doing a book, is just ask yourself that key question: how urgent and important is it? And if it's if it's a must, if it, you know, if it is something that you really, really want to have and you want it to be a great book, then get the best help that you can afford, because it's not easy. Otherwise, everybody would do it. So, yeah, that's what I would say.
So, what's the website address?
So, bookmidwife.com, just simply bookmidwife.com. There are links on there to some of the other things. So, you know, I've got my speaking website, mindygk.com, which leads to Book Midwife as well. Book Midwife leads to Panoma Press. So sometimes people come along there and they don't need Book Midwife. They've already written the book.
Yeah.
So we can help. If people get confused, you know, we know how to help. They may think they need one thing, but, you know, we'll find the way to get through to them and help them get the answers they need. Basically, we help people through the whole life cycle. But our favorite place to start with people is before they've even done any planning or writing. So if we can catch people at the ideas stage, that's perfect, because we can help and guide and craft the book together with them and really make sure that they end up with the best possible book. The problem is a lot of people don't realize that, or they don't want to come with a blank sheet. They try to do something themselves, like they try to do an outline or write some chapters. And that's hard, because if they've gone down the wrong track, you know, we need to backtrack and we need to sometimes start over. So we try to get people to trust us right from the beginning and allow us to help with that planning, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, absolutely, fully agree there, because, you know, because we're so close to the subject matter that we don't understand necessarily the structure.
You have to do it on your own. If you've never structured a book before, if you've never written anything, then, you know, why do you think you'd have to give it a DIY, do it yourself approach? There are people who can help and who want to help, and that's our favorite part of the process, is putting together that framework and structure and outline together with the author.
Yeah.
And that's the bit that many people don't understand. They think they have to come with the ready-made, you know, thing already structured, and they tear the hair out, and that's why, you know, they never start.
Yeah, the fact that you've already got over 500 clients that have gone into print, I think is a perfect testimonial on its own, isn't it?
Well, we've got some very famous people in the UK that have just published. Charlie Lawson, who's current head of BNI in the UK.
Okay.
Yvonne Thompson, Dr. Yvonne Thompson, who's very well known and a CBE, and she's got a book called The 7 Traits of Successful Women on Boards, which is a hot topic, and that's taking off in the city and elsewhere. We've got, you know, tons of coaches and consultants who've made a name for themselves, and, you know, the list goes on. But we also have the people writing about their own lives. You know, we've got the founder of Limb Care, Ray Edwards, who's an MBE. Bit of a trend here. He's written his book about, you know, how he's got through his journey. Maybe I can convince him to do the show with you one day.
Oh, that would be absolutely fantastic. Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, Limb Care is a really important charity that helps develop prosthetic limbs for children and, you know, amputees, double amputees, and he speaks in schools. You know, there's so many people doing inspiring things and that have had experiences and just inspiring themselves. So I love being involved in all that and helping share the stories. So it's just another side to the same coin, you know, what you and I are doing for all their greatness.
Absolutely, that's why we're here, and that's why I'm doing the show. Well, listen, Mindy, thank you so much for joining me. I know, you know, like I said, you're a busy bee, and I really appreciate you taking the time and joining me today. Thank you so much, and don't forget, everybody, if you have this a book that you would love to write, then do it. And the person to contact, the Book Midwife. Thank you so much for joining me, Mindy. Take care.
All right, cheers.
Thanks everybody for listening in, and I'll see you next time.